Okay, George, it's 21st of January. It was quite a day. Let me switch over to your screen so we can do your daily recap.
Awesome. Yeah, so you were with us today, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice. And I heard you comment a couple times, I think, in the background. Yeah, what a day, man. Like the morning was fine. I was completely done trading by like noon, so I didn't catch. It sounds like we had news, so it sounds like President Trump was saying something about something, and the market went crazy. So there you are. Whenever news events occurred, right? Like all bets are off. I don't claim to try to play in that arena. But yeah, like so let's go through. We can start with the ES here, recap. We'd had this, it was unfortunate, again, just the timing of it from the morning. They had the pre-market stuff and we had put this out at 7 a.m., it looks like. So 7 a.m., I had put this down here, so it was like a really big deal for the market to get through this hurdle. And it had already achieved one, and it was very close. It got really close to target number two, coming off of this decision point way up here at 69.23. So this we had called out a couple days back, and the market finally got to the first target just barely. But I guess it's not terribly surprising because it could have done either. It was one of those situations, like it was so close. It was only about about a 5 point spread between getting second target or the market saying, nah, we're going to hold on to this hurdle here for now. And obviously that's what they did. So you had to be awake for that one. Certainly if you had our chart cast going, then you saw it. I know I took it in the early sessions. It worked out fine. But on the start of the day, so here's our 9:30 open. And admittedly, I didn't get any additional ES trades to the upside because I was calling for it to drop after the 9:30. So here we are at 9:35. I was telling the whole room, like, realistically, it needs to come back to 44, and there was still an outside chance of 33. And it stopped at what? 45 half. So that was too bad. I know that me and another room participant, we chatted about it a little bit. He and I both just missed the entry, and I wasn't willing to chase it. So yeah, what are you gonna do? That's I caught the morning session, but that's all right. It did hit all of our targets. It broke the has to hold. That if it was going to hold at all, that's kind of what they mean. Like it has to hold here, otherwise it's going to go ahead and carry on. It did. It broke that, and we got all upside targets. I don't know. Did you take the short at all? I took the short back when I got to the rubber band.
Yeah, I didn't trade ES today.
No. Okay. Yeah. After it gave us this minor has to hold up here, it was doing it about the same time that NQ did. It nearly tagged the minor has to hold right about the same time frame. But yeah, I took the short for a little bit to the two previous targets. So overall, pretty good day. Can't complain. And then I was done at around noon, and then news, and it just popped and took off. And we'll have to see what they're going to do with all this, you know, in the overnight session and certainly into tomorrow, as it's big moves like this. They're not an intraday thing. It's not a trade. I did. Oh yeah, you were probably here for this. As we were kind of settling in up here, I had mentioned like if this is it, if this is kind of where we pause, then you can't even touch this thing unless it gets back to like 68.44, because that would be the first level of true support. And so it did obviously get not only there, but a little bit further past. But again, here it is. Another perfect example. Don't chase the market. Let it come back to you. So even if you got it at 44, you probably maybe could have handled that wick. Hard to say. But either way, it got there. NQ, very similar. I guess the difference here, it also had a big deal hurdle down here, which I totally missed. I should have caught this one also earlier in the day at 7 a.m. and I completely missed it. It was sort of buried in some information that I just It took me a while to uncover. So I didn't get that posted until close to 8:45. Sadly, it still held it, so that was good. And then we did break the minor has to hold. Got the first series of targets. Now this was so much more helpful. I love it when they have targets kind of leading into targets. I'm not sure about you, but it just helps me understand the strength or weakness of the market. And when it pushed to the rubber band, this one was perfect. My NQ trade today was great. Because it was the same thing. I was trying to get POC roughly on the ES and POC on the NQ. So this one gave it to us all the way to targets. That was great. And then as we got up here, we talked about all the many things that are happening. So we have all of our series of targets that we called out well ahead of time. Probably, what would you say, hour ish, maybe ahead of time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
So plenty of time. So there was our targets. But as we were getting closer, I was like, all right, here's the bigger picture. Here's the crux of it all, is that we're starting to run into a bunch of other things. We had a decision point that brought us down. We had another decision point just above that. And then finally they gave us a minor has to hold right there about 25,500. So that was it for it temporarily. And then I don't even count this. That's just news. Can't do much about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and we give Bob his flowers today, folks. So here's Bob's screenshot. So he's got the ChartCast running on his screen. So basically anything that shows up, anything I type on mine, the bubbles and the lines and the arrows and so forth, they show up on whoever's ChartCasting. So he was simply just targeting what we were calling out. Bob took a different approach. And this is kind of important, I think, for a lot of folks. Well, here, I'll kind of bounce back and forth. That's the NQ. I'll come back to yours in a second. So here's the decision point on the NQ right here around 248, 249. Okay. So ideally, right? And it's just an ideal situation. And we love it when it happens because it makes it so much easier to trade. Ideally, you want to see the decision point get broken and commit above it, at least a good solid candle, which the 10 or the 955 gave to us. And then I like seeing the retrace personally. That's just how I trade. But facts are what facts are, and it still broke. So I like to see the retrace, and then I try to take it to target.
And
Bob, on the other hand,
I trade the 1 minute chart too, so I get my confirmation a little quicker. And that's why the bubbles look so wide, by the way, because it's converting your 5 minute bubbles to a 1 minute chart. But yeah, so I had a close above that sooner because of the 1 minute, and you can see that it just took off from there, luckily.
Yep. So you can kind of see where Bob, right here is blue arrow. So you can see where he got in just above. It confirmed, and apparently that was good enough for him. And this kind of speaks more to the individual than it does the information, right? As an individual, this is the way Bob likes to do it. And this is not the first time you have shown me
that exact call,
like a screenshot, of you doing this. So I know that you do this. I'm aware that you're like, man, if this thing's going to break the decision point, I'm just in.
Now I
don't know.
You will notice though, it's only 2 contracts because at that point it's considered kind of a chase to me. So instead of my 3 or 4, it's only 1 or 2, and I literally took that first one off after just a smidge of profit, and I moved to break even.
Oh, I see it.
I moved to break even pretty quick, so that was a small risk trade, really. And then I just keep.
That was a no risk trade. Look at this. You went from here to here in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and I just kind of layered in as it pulled back a little bit, and I'm using the. As long as those bars are staying blue with the precision trend, I still have confidence that it's doing that. And actually, my stop would have been trailing up automatically with those blue bars. So,
gotcha. But then you kind of see what he did too with the arrows, like right here. He's targeting same thing. Like we're all trying to respect and pay attention to the bubbles. The bubbles are the targets. They take precedent over everything. because once they've achieved them, they can technically stop at that point. They don't have to keep going. So we'd be sure, like, here, he took profit here, and it just seems like he probably ran out of contracts at that point.
Yeah, so if I would have had my normal, I would have had that third up on the rubber band. And I actually was debating if I should move my only remaining one up there, but because that decision point was sitting between me and the rubber band, I've seen it so many times not quite make it there. So I was happy to take it at target 2.
Yeah. Yeah. That's perfect though. I mean, it's a great example of probably a lot of different things we could probably get into. I'm just not going to get into too much, but it's a great example of really just utilizing the information for what it is, right? You chose to jump in pretty quickly as soon as the decision was made. Others, maybe they're in that position, they can do it. Some, like me, I didn't. I was already in from the earlier stuff, and so I'd already taken profit by the time it got to the Hasta hole. I was out. I was out of contracts, and I wasn't willing to jump in again, so that's okay. But yeah, congratulations. A round of applause for Bob today. That was a fantastic, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Yeah, that was the recap on today, folks. It was it's a wild one as far as the afternoon goes. They did, just as a side note, the NQ did actually close the Sunday night gap from this move up here at 2:45 or 2:55, 3 o'clock. So they closed the gap. That's it.
Yeah, the ES, when it took that first dive at the rubber band, it was just trying to touch the gap. And I was like, wow, it rejected pretty hard from there. And it just happened to coincide perfectly with your rubber band. So I was in a meeting at that point. I was watching and I was tempted to trade, but I need to stay focused when I'm trading. So I just kind of let it go. But yeah, it was a great day. So let's see what tomorrow brings.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks, man.